Hi Fools, I'm Dan Caplinger, Motley Fool contributor, and I'm here today with our Ask a Fool series, where our readers ask questions about their investments and their portfolios. And today we have a question from Carmen Wine, who asks, what are the advantages of a Roth IRA over a traditional IRA? It's a good question, Carmen, because it's something that comes up with just about every investor who wants to know whether it makes sense for them to save for retirement in a traditional account or a Roth account. Now, the difference between the two is simple. A traditional IRA gives you an upfront tax deduction on the current year taxes when you make the contribution. On the other hand, the Roth IRA doesn't give you that deduction. And so at first glance you'd think, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. You should do the traditional. But there's a big trade-off with a traditional IRA that comes back to bite you later, and that's that you have to pay taxes on the money you take out of a traditional IRA after you retire. With a Roth IRA, on the other hand, you don't have to pay taxes on that money, neither on what you contributed nor on the income and capital gains that it produced. And so really what it comes down to is this: do you feel comfortable paying taxes now, or would you prefer to pay them later? Now, Carmen points out that it seems like later in life your tax rate is generally going to be lower. And if that's the case, it would usually seem to make sense to use a traditional IRA when you could get more money back from the deduction when you make the upfront contribution and pay less in tax later on. But one thing to keep in mind is that even though that seems intuitively correct, there are a lot of situations where that doesn't actually come to pass. For instance, if you're a successful investor, you may end up having a huge amount of money in those traditional IRA accounts. And even having to take minimum withdrawals from those accounts may push you up into a much higher tax bracket than you would ever think possible at this point in your career. And so it's really worth thinking about, does it make sense to diversify your tax exposure the same way you would diversify your investments? One way to do that would be to take part of your money and put it into a traditional IRA or perhaps a traditional 401k plan that your employer offers, while putting a portion of your retirement money into a Roth account, thereby getting sort of the best of both worlds and diversifying so that part of your money in retirement will be available to you without having to pay any tax consequences at all. That sort of balanced approach can often give you the most flexibility in managing your money in retirement. For more on IRAs, retirement, and other investment issues, be sure to stay tuned to Fool.com. Thanks for watching, and Fool on.